So I came to ASU, and I actually was between USC and ASU, but I didn't want to live in the ghetto. So I came here because I used to come to Arizona for spring training, baseball games. Loved it here, came here, always watched way too much TV and movies as a kid, Saturday Night Live, etc. But I didn't really know, I'm from San Francisco, I didn't really know that you could be a writer for TV. Like, I didn't think that people did that. And so I came here, and then the closest thing they had to that at the time was broadcasting. So I did that, and I just started writing on the side, and I started reading screenwriting books, and I took a few creative writing classes here at ASU, and I talked to the professors and told them I wanted to write mine in screenplay format, and they said cool, and I did that, and that's kind of how I got started. And then I went to film school after ASU because I thought that I needed to, and it turned out that I didn't. I went to film school at Loyola Marymount, which is in LA, and because I didn't get into USC, because no one does unless you are Steven Spielberg's son. So coming from Arizona, I felt like, I needed to learn. There was this magical ingredient to be a writer in Hollywood, and so I thought I needed film school. I went to film school, and I learned stuff, but nothing more than you can read in a book. And pretty much the best way to get started out there is just to start working and be a PA somewhere or be an assistant, and that's the way to go. I moved to LA from ASU, and there was like 6 months in between grad school starting and getting out of ASU. So I got 3 internships. One was on Dharma and Greg, one was on That's How Old I Am, and then there was one at like an agency, one at a management, and I did that, and then I started film school, and then I got very lucky and I got an assistant job for a comedy writer who had a development deal at Universal. And I was her assistant for 2 years, and it was the best job ever because when you have a development deal, she's just sitting around thinking of ideas, so I didn't have to go into work hardly ever. And she took me around to all of her pitches and taught me the business. There's a janitor. Taught me the business, and that was a good experience. Oh, and then I worked. Then she didn't get any of her shows picked up, which was very bad news for me because if she had gotten one of her shows going, I would have been hired as a writer, most likely. So then I kind of had to start over, and I went and I was a PA at E. I didn't think I'm going to be a comedy writer. As I said, I was just writing movies. I didn't think, oh, I'm so funny. And I just kind of got into it, and I wasn't doing sketches in college. I wasn't really into that scene, but I was always really big fan of stand-up comedy, and as I said, Saturday Night Live, and I was just always into it. And as a little kid, I would act out Eddie Murphy sketches, and I would do that, but in school, I just never got into it because I thought it was kind of lame, but it wasn't, but I just thought, I was like, I don't want to put myself out there and do that. I just maybe I didn't have the confidence, and I really don't like telling jokes in front of people. I would rather just write jokes down. Like, you aren't gonna be working with your friends. You're gonna be with some dude who thinks you suck. And it's not fun, that awkward silence where you go, oh, what about if we say he gets kicked in the nuts? And then everyone's like, and then you're like, all right. But you just gotta get used to it, and you gotta be fearless, and you gotta believe in it, and you gotta believe in yourself. And the most important thing is you can't think that you are the best and that your jokes are awesome and this show sucks because they're not using them. You have to realize, okay, not my day, but you gotta keep firing.